What up YouTube, Salvador Briggman here. Welcome back to the Crowdfunding Demystified YouTube channel. And on today's video, we're getting into some of the killer things you need to include if you want to supercharge your Kickstarter pitch video. If you want to make it so that people after watching your video are emotionally turned on, they're excited to buy your product, they want to learn more, they want to look through your campaign page, and they want to support your campaign on Kickstarter or on Indiegogo. Okay, so let's get into some of these tips and things that you need to include in your video and things you need to be aware of if you want to have a campaign page, you want to have a video that actually evokes emotion and gets people wanting to buy a product. The first thing I want to point out here is the actual duration of the video. And you've probably read a little bit about this online. Every single pitch video on Kickstarter usually abides by a pretty standard duration when it comes to maintaining attention. That ends up being around 3 minutes. 3.5, I'd say, 2.5, 3 minutes is really the sweet spot when it comes to a video duration for a video on Kickstarter. Now, you're going to see examples of some videos that go beyond that, and maybe they have a 5-minute duration, or maybe like an 8-minute duration. You'll also see other videos that go below that. This is just an average, I would say. It's a really good rule of thumb. So I have a lot of people approach me and be like, hey Sal, why is it that this is the optimal duration? Why is it that you recommend this? Is this a good duration for my project? There are a few different things here. The first one is that you need to maintain attention throughout the entire video. And it's very difficult to do that if you have a long video duration. If you have an 8-minute duration or a 5-minute duration, people just tend to tune out. They tend to not be as interested. They tend to look at social media or look around the internet or do other things. You lose attention. 3 minutes is a really good formulaic duration if you want to continue to maintain attention, and also enough time for you to convey something to someone. You can show them actually video of the product. You can sort of get them ramped up and ask them questions and get them thinking about the problem the product solves. It's enough time to convey value, but not too long that you're going to lose attention. In order to influence someone, to get someone to want to buy your product or to get them thinking about the problem that your product solves, you have to get them to watch your pitch video or your campaign video. Now, the first thing here is attention in terms of the duration. The second thing is what I like to call B-roll footage or showing the use case. So now sometimes every once in a while you'll come across a video and that video is just basically like a talking head video. It's good for education. If you're trying to teach someone something, I think that's fine. But if you're trying to arouse interest and pique someone's curiosity and get them really wanting to buy this product, it's not so good. When we see someone just talking for the length of 3 minutes or 5 minutes or 8 minutes, we tend to tune out over time. So what you can do is to continue to maintain attention. If you're telling a story with your pitch video, if you're talking about the features and the benefits and all these different things that your product has and what went into actually making this product, a great thing that you can do is include B-roll footage. B-roll footage, very plain and simple, is footage that overlays the video screen while you are talking. So maybe you show B-roll footage of people being happy, enjoying the benefits of the product or using the product, or showing the product in different scenes and environments, or maybe showing different scales of the product, or do a video going around the product. Basically, you're using B-roll footage to maintain someone's attention and eyes on that actual video while you're talking and while you're communicating value and information. Otherwise, what ends up happening from like more of a psychological standpoint is their brain just starts to wander. If you're in the same stayed video frame for a long period of time, their brain starts to think of other things. They think, what am I going to eat for lunch later? What am I going to do later with my friends? They have different random thoughts. The more that you can quickly change up the frame, as they call it, with B-roll footage or with showing people using the product in different environments, showing them enjoying the benefits, the more you're going to actually hijack that person's mind, and they're actually not going to be able to think of anything else. A good example of this is if you ever sit in a movie theater or you're even at home and you watch a movie, you actually lose a sense of yourself when you're watching a really good movie. When you're watching a good movie, it's so emotionally compelling and your attention is so rapt that you're literally not thinking about anything else. Sort of the veneer of your life fades away. You're not thinking about the past or the future. Your entire focus is on what is happening in that movie. You actually forget where you are in the environment. You might end up like jumping in your seat and you don't even realize it. You're just emotionally sort of reacting to what you're seeing on the screen. In addition, one of the cool things here is actually you lose a sense of awareness of your body. And that's what B-roll footage, really fast cuts, and maintaining attention at lots of rapidly changing scenes, that's what actually it does. So to give you an example, I'm going to link down below to a video I did going through my recent trip in the Philippines. So in the Philippines, I went to different beaches, I used a motorbike, I got around, it was a lot of fun. I use a lot of B-roll footage to show you what that experience was like. So I'll link down below to give you an example of what like B-roll footage is, but basically you're going to want to include this and also have showing the use case in order to enhance your Kickstarter video. The third most important component of having a effective pitch video, and just even a video online, any kind of commercial video, is you really want good lighting. I can't tell you how much good lighting is going to change the mood of your video, and it's also going to make people think that you have a high quality product. If you are talking to the camera and you're shrouded in darkness or there are shadows, people find it easy to tune out. They're not going to trust you as much. It's less likely for them to come away from that video and be like, okay, this is a really cool product, versus when you have really good lighting, number one, the product looks killer. Number two, when your face is well lit, it really engenders trust. And number three, having good lighting also sets the mood and the tone for the video as being very optimistic. And over time, as people are watching that video, they're like, man, I want this thing in my life. Like, I want to be leading that kind of life. This looks really awesome. Like, I got to learn more about this. Having good lighting is a must. Now, I have two other really killer tips for you, but before we get into that, I really want to say thank you to the sponsor of today's video, which is Fulfillment. And if you've never heard of Fulfillment before, I've been working with them for a while. They sponsor my podcast, and they help creators just like you with order fulfillment when it comes to their Kickstarter campaign. So hear me out here. Basically, when you have a Kickstarter campaign or a crowdfunding campaign or an Indiegogo campaign, you have all these orders, hundreds or thousands of people, and you have to ship out all these orders to people around the world. And it's a tremendous headache. It's a huge problem. You have to deal with spreadsheets. You have to deal with different shipping rates. It's just so complex and complicated. And what they do is they offer a turnkey solution for you. They offer seamless e-commerce and order fulfillment to make the whole process so much simpler, and they really integrate into your business as a trusted partner. I've been working with them for a long time, and I can vouch for their services, and I highly recommend, if you want to have a few less headaches and a few less pains and problems going into your campaign, go and check out Fulfillment. I will include a link to them down below. The fourth tip that I have for you when it comes to putting together a really good pitch video for Kickstarter or Indiegogo is to tell a story. And I sort of want to jump off of this also when it comes to storytelling with you being in the video, and also we could talk a little bit about professionals. So professionals, people that can basically help you out. What is a story? Well, every single good product out there usually has a user use case. And those users, let's just say for example, like a travel bag, that person uses that product in a variety of different settings. So if you have a travel bag, maybe you're using this on a backpacking trip in the Appalachian Trail. Maybe you're using this when you're backpacking in Europe, or you're using this when you're going on your next trip to the Philippines or something like that. There are different ways in which you use this product, and it fits into your life in a certain way. Maybe you have that same bag that you hand down then to your son a couple of years later, 5 or 10 years later when you have a son, or 15 years when he's ready to actually go on hiking trips. You hand that same durable bag to him, and then he takes those trips in his own life and he experiences the world. Every single product has a story, and that story is how it relates to the actual user of the product. And the more that you can show use cases, the more that you can sort of have check marks of who the person is that cares about this problem, that uses this product, the type of person that uses this product, and you can fit that into the video, the more someone is going to feel like this product was actually made for them. And the other cool thing is they're going to start to think about all the things that you're showing on the video screen and be like, yeah, man, I want to travel more. I want to go to the Appalachian Trail. I want to take some of these trips with my friends. Like, I want to live this kind of a lifestyle. And almost by buying this product, you are giving permission, or it's a passport to this other lifestyle. It's the very beginning step towards doing all this cool stuff. I can't tell you the number of friends that I have who go out there and like they buy a drone or they buy a GoPro, and they simply do do that because they see people, YouTubers, using GoPros and using drones and having a good time, you know, jumping off of cliffs, going diving, going swimming, you know, swimming amongst sharks, swimming amongst like stingrays and stuff like that. I can't tell you the number of people who just bought one of these products or even buy a camera because they see people doing cool stuff with it and they kind of want to buy into that vision. But then you go back and you look at that and they haven't used this thing, they haven't actually opened the box, or they've barely used it in the next year. They rarely use their drone, they rarely use their GoPro. Like, it was a fun, momentary, emotional high when they bought into that story, but unfortunately, it just hasn't lasted. So as the marketer, as you, it's in your best interest to tell this story effectively. There are a few ways you can do that by showing different use cases and environments of the product, but also by having you talking to the camera and telling the story of why it is you made this product, why it is that you are the perfect customer, why it is you've been struggling with this idea and you finally came up with a solution. And finally, if this is a little bit beyond you, if this is something that is kind of difficult for you to wrap your head around and you don't want to do this yourself, you can also hire a professional videographer to make the video for you when it comes to crowdfunding. Now, that's probably going to set you back at the lowest around $2,000, more around the $4,000 to $5,000 mark, and the upper echelons maybe around $8,000 to $10,000. It's really going to vary based on the quality, you know, the product that you have, the different shots that you want to have, the quality of the actual agency that's helping you out. There are a lot of different variables here, but it can give you a little bit of idea if you do want to outsource this aspect of your campaign. The final and fifth tip that I have for you when it comes to putting together a good Kickstarter pitch video is that you have to think about that thumbnail. It's similar to YouTube. You know, a thumbnail is what commands attention. A thumbnail is kind of like a snippet in someone's mind. They're gonna be like, okay, this video is going to be about this, or this video is going to be about that. The thumbnail is the first thing that people see when they're browsing through the Kickstarter marketplace or on Indiegogo. It's the first thing they see when they come across your actual video, and it really kind of primes their mind in terms of what they should expect when they hit that play button and they actually look into your product. So the thumbnail is really important. It's more of an art than a science, I would say, but try to keep it simple. Try to keep it almost as though it's almost like a no-brainer that when they click this video play button or when they see this, this is what they're going to learn about. It should also, if possible, evoke a little bit of curiosity. The best YouTube thumbnails, the best thumbnails on Kickstarter kind of evoke curiosity, like, wow, what is that thing? Or this looks so cool, like I have to learn more. That curiosity gap gets someone to want to actually hit play or click the link to learn more about your campaign, and then they're allowed to be influenced and actually want to buy your product and sort of be in that prime state to actually support and back your crowdfunding campaign. I hope you've enjoyed this YouTube video and you've taken something away from it. I invite you to leave a comment down below. A lot of great stuff on this YouTube channel going through the different elements of launching a crowdfunding campaign, from marketing to sales to how do you create the video like we just covered today, how do you do other stuff like fulfillment and logistics. I cover all of that on this YouTube channel. So if you are preparing for a crowdfunding campaign, I urge you just dive into my archives. I also have some other great resources out there like my book, The Kickstarter Launch Formula. I also have a Udemy course by the exact same name that you can search up there, and a lot of other stuff. I urge you to get on one of my newsletters, my crowdfunding newsletter. I share a ton of great stuff there, and it's really the best thing you can do in order to give yourself sort of a leg up on your competition and to make this campaign actually something that you're giving the best chance for your product. And because you're investing so much time and money into this project, you want to make sure it is a success. Again, my name is Salvador Briggman. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let's keep in touch, and I'll see you next time.